All right, this is part 4 of the comparison between the RC4WD Drive 6x6 Overland and the Lesu Mercedes 8x8 dump truck. So if we look at the chassis, the first thing that comes to mind, the Lesu is a lot more of a tight fit. There's a lot more stuff crammed in here on a shorter chassis. We're talking just under 25 inches versus about 28 inches for the RC4-wheel drive. So working on the Lesu is, it's something. Now, the first difference that I notice is at the level of the suspension. So we have 5 leaves here that are metal leaves that are relatively thin, with a relatively high level of or deep level of compression. So it gives the truck a really scale look. You do have travel there. You can press on it. It does work. And the back, interestingly, is composed of plastic leaves here, and there's 6 of them. They're a lot thicker, and I think it's a really interesting setup for a truck that is designed to carry. It makes a lot of sense. That way you won't be breaking your leaves or having leaves that are flat after a couple rides. If you take a look at the Lesu, different approach. So it has 6 leaves at the front for the 2 front axles. So there you go, here. And they're relatively thin leaves, but the suspension travel is quite limited. I'll try to show you actually. There you go. So maybe I got like half an inch or something like that, and I really got to push on it. Whereas this guy, it's a lot more supple. At the same time, speaking of supple, these tires are also a lot more supple than these guys. So they will transfer a lot more of the shocks into the suspension, so it'll likely work more. Plus, it's a much heavier truck. We're talking 18 pounds versus 14.9. So there, plus this guy also will probably carry more. I'm not sure what the max load is on this guy, but we'll see. Anyways, the drive shafts are of a smaller diameter for this guy than that guy. As a matter of fact, I'm not sure. Let's see. Kind of looks like 8 millimeters versus looks like 6 to me here. Yeah. So you also have a lot more going on here. Oh, well, the transmission is hidden behind there, here. And you have a transfer case here, your T case right there. What's interesting about this truck is that you can uncouple the front wheels, so it can be I guess a 4x8. You can lock the differentials, front and rear. I think you can do it separately. It does have 2-speed, plus it obviously has the pump here, the motor here rather, for the pump. So there you go. Plus the cylinder there for the pump, and obviously your hydraulic tank. This guy is a much more simple application. You've got your motor right on the transmission, 2-speed again. So that transmission is basically located more or less where the T case is for the Lesu. So interesting. T case in the center of the truck, slightly to the rear, and here T case at the more or less at the center of the truck. Well, not T case, sorry, transmission, slightly to the front. And there's no T case there actually. So that's one less function. And as a matter of fact, if you look at the number of servos, you've got one servo here, you've got another one that you up there, here. So that So you probably have a servo for the, and I guess another servo. Let's see. 1, 2. 1, 2. Oh, I see what they've done. Okay, typical RC4WD drive. So what they've done when you're in low gear, so there's only 2 servos. That means one is for the steering, the other one is for the transmission. But most likely, and I may be wrong on this one, but I'm fairly sure it's correct. Most likely also for the diffs, which means that in low gear you're most likely running locked diffs, and in high gear you're running open diffs. That is a much more simple setup, and it reminds me of the Desert Runner Hero. And I have actually conducted, if you look on the RC and Coffee channel, I have conducted a mod where I added a third servo so that I can control the locking mechanisms independently from the transmission. So I will stop the video there because then it'll be too long to upload, and I'll start a new one.